Let's talk about the do's and don'ts of speaking English at work. Even if you use English every day, you might be surprised how small changes in the way you speak can really make a difference in whether you sound confident or insecure in front of your coworkers. I managed an international team in an English-speaking company for years, and I saw what helps and hurts your professional image when speaking English at work. Luckily for you, I've put all my tips into this simple guide so you know exactly how to make the best impression in your job using English. When I had fast-talking meetings with my international workmates, it was common for somebody to suddenly pause the conversation and say, "Sorry for my English." You want to know what I was thinking about before they said that? My work, not their English. You want to know what happened after they said, "Sorry for my English"? I started concentrating only on their English. That's why I recommend you don't apologize for your English when speaking to people at work. It brings more attention to the way that you're speaking, and that's probably the opposite of what you actually wanted to do. Plus, when you apologize, you don't exactly transmit self-confidence. If you have to mention your English at all, at least change the tone so that you sound more sure of yourself. For example, you can say, "I'm translating from Spanish," or whatever your language is. "Just give me a moment, please." Instead of saying sorry and putting yourself down, you highlight the fact that you're bilingual or multilingual, which is a really impressive skill. Now you're speaking from a position of strength. There are even more strategies to show your strength when speaking English at work. Keep watching. Language is an amazing tool to influence how people remember you. So when there's an issue at work, choose your words carefully. You want your co-workers to remember you as the person who brings solutions, not problems. For example, imagine you're waiting on a report from your workmate, Ben. You ask him about it and he says, "I can't finish the report today." Will you remember Ben as someone who brings solutions? Probably not. He just brought you a problem. Let's imagine the situation differently. This time, when you ask Ben, he replies saying, "I can give you the report tomorrow." Suddenly, it doesn't sound so bad as before. It's the same message, but instead of focusing on the bad news, "I'm not getting the report today," we're focusing on the good news, "I'm getting the report tomorrow." You remember Ben more as a person who brings solutions. So that's my advice. Focus on solutions, not problems, when speaking English at work. Replace what you can't do with what you can. Here are a few more examples. Instead of saying, "I can't join the call in the afternoon," say, "I can join the call in the morning." Instead of saying, "I can't do all those tasks," say, "I can do this task and that task." And remember, you can choose your words carefully without using super complex English language. When you're speaking English at work, your goal is simple. Communicate clearly with your coworkers. So there's no reason to use super complex, complicated English language. Case in point, imagine you're in a meeting. Who's easier to follow? We ought to tap into our available resources to enhance our outcome. Let's optimize our resources. I don't know about you, but I would much prefer to listen to Julia. Her language is simple and easy to follow. Exactly what I need in a busy day at work. I like Julia. And speaking of likes, you know what to do. What about Tom's sentence? Grammatically perfect, impressive vocabulary, but it's a work meeting, it's not an English exam. Tom probably just confused everyone. And speaking of exams, exams are sometimes a necessary part of life, but they're not everything. Please don't confuse language certificates with real English skills. Skills. This is my Scottish accent. I know loads of Spanish speakers who failed their English exams and they speak better English than I do. And the opposite too. In my old job, I received a lot of CVs with all these amazing qualifications and language certificates. But when the candidate came for the job interview and started speaking in English, it really wasn't as strong as it looked on paper. In the real world of speaking English at work, the ones who succeed are the ones who can communicate confidently and clearly. Please don't stress about whether you've got the Cambridge Certificate of Excellence, Your Majesty, Her Highness, blah, 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 blah. Although, that being said, when English is a secondary language and it's the language you speak at work, it's totally normal. At times you're gonna get lost in the conversation. My advice in that situation is to double check the important stuff. I'm not suggesting that you demand a definition of every individual English word that your coworker uses in a meeting. That would take a long time. But don't be embarrassed to pause and get clarification on the important details. What is an important detail? I mean a critical piece of information that you need to complete a task correctly, like a number, a name, a deadline. A simple strategy to double check that information is to summarize what you just heard or what you understand. For example, so just to confirm, the plan is to meet next Tuesday at 11. Is that right? I totally understand that speaking English at work can feel very intimidating, but I encourage you to change your perspective. Instead of seeing it as this big, scary thing that you have to do, try and see it as an opportunity to advance your English skills and advance your career. If you make a mistake in English, it's not this embarrassing failure. It's an opportunity to learn from that mistake and never repeat it again in the future. If you don't recognize or understand an English word that somebody's using, well, that's your moment to find out the meaning, and now you just expanded your vocabulary. If you don't understand someone because of the way they talk, maybe their accent or they speak really quickly, then it's an opportunity to train your ear and build on your listening skills. Every situation where you're speaking English at work is an opportunity to move forward as a professional. To help you get ready and prepare more for those moments, watch my next video, How to Speak Confidently in English at Work.